Hi everybody, in this video we're going to learn how to create a loop. A loop is used for iterations or to execute statements repeatedly. Normally when we want to create a loop we need three components. First, we need a variable that we will use to control the loop. We can use this variable to keep track how many iterations or how many times the loop has repeated. We can think of this variable as a counter. Second, we need a condition. Only when that condition is true, the loop is going to repeat. Third, we need a statement to update the value of the counter variable so that the loop is not going to get stuck and become an infinite loop. In this video, we're going to learn two structures of how to create a loop. First, we're going to use a while loop, and then we're going to use a do while loop. So let's say we want a simple program to display the word hi for 3 times. So first we need to declare a variable so that we can use this to keep track how many times we have repeated or the loop has repeated. So this variable should be declared as an int or integer. We're going to start at 0 and then while loop, and then the condition that only when this condition is true, the loop is going to repeat. We'll come back to that. So what should be the condition? If we want to display this word hi for 3 times, we start from 0. So let's count 0, 1, and 2, and that's 3 times. So only when that counter or a is less than 3, the loop is going to repeat. So let's see what happens. Well, we have a problem. Right now, the word hi is displayed indefinitely. So we need to go back and fix this. So first of all, we have the first component. We have the counter variable a. We have the condition within the parentheses a is less than 3, but we haven't had the last component. We need to make sure that we update the value of the variable a or the counter variable. Otherwise, then the loop is going to get stuck and become an infinite loop because a is going to stay at 0 all the time. That means we need to create a block for this while loop because we're going to have to update the value of that a variable by 1. So the first time a is going to be 0. Second time a is going to become 1. Third time a is going to become 2. Let's see what happens. So we get to see the word hi for 3 times. And let's see how the compiler goes into the program and executes each line. Go to debug menu and step into our F11. Then press F11. So first of all, as you notice in the locals window down here, a is initialized to 0. F11 one more time. And if you put your mouse over this condition, as you can see, right now the condition is true because a is 0 and less than 3. When that condition is true, the compiler is going to get inside the block of the loop or the body of the loop. F11, getting inside the loop to display the first hi. As you can see, and then the value of a is going to be updated by 1. F11. If you notice in the locals window, now a is now 1. And then going back to the condition again to check, a is still less than 3 because 1 is still less than 3. F11, getting inside the loop, display second hi, and then update the value of the counter one more time. And now a is going to become 2. Going back to the condition 2 is still less than 3, getting inside the loop, display the third high, and then update the value of the counter variable. Now it's going to become 3, going back to the condition. 3 is no longer less than 3, so it's going to exit the loop completely. So just to recap, we need 3 components for this while loop. We have the a variable as the counter variable. We have the condition a less than 3 because we want to display the word high for 3 times starting from 0. And then we have a equals to a plus 1, meaning to update the value of a each time by 1. And we have a shortcut for that. It could be like this as a shortcut. Or more commonly is going to be a plus plus. And these 3 lines are exactly the same, meaning you're going to update the value of a by 1 and then assign that new value to the variable a. Now let's try to do the same program this time using a do while loop. So let's create a new variable. This time the syntax is a little bit different. With the do while loop, if you notice, at the end of the while loop, at the end of the parenthesis, you need to have a semicolon to end that loop. In contrast, with a do while loop, you don't need to have a semicolon at the end. And let's see what happens with the do while loop. 3 times the same thing. Now, what if we want to also display the value of that counter variable each time so we can actually see the values of the counter variable? So high first time is 0, high 1, high 2. Now, as you can see, the difference between using a while loop and a do while is that with a do while loop, you go ahead and do it the first time. After you're done, then you'll check the condition. In contrast, with a while loop, you check it first before you get inside the body of the loop. In other words, the while loop may not execute the code in the loop at all if the condition is false. However, the do while loop will execute the code once before checking the condition. And that's the end of this video.